Today I'm going to show you two ways of cooking steak, on the grill and pan-seared. The first thing you want to do when you're cooking steak is to pat your steak dry. This step is very crucial because when you go to grill a steak or pan-sear a steak, you don't want a lot of moisture on the surface of the steak. You want it to be as dry as possible, which will ultimately lead to a better sear on the steak. When it comes to seasoning the steak, what I like to do is put a little bit of oil on the steak. What this is going to do is help the seasoning stick to the meat. You can make your seasonings as elaborate as you'd like. In this video, I'm just going to be using salt. Place your steaks on the grill and let them sit for about 1.5 minutes. After about 1.5 minutes, turn your steak 45 degrees in order to get nice diamond grill marks on the steak. After about another 1.5 minutes or so, flip your steaks over to cook the other side. After about 3 or 4 minutes on the other side, take your steaks off and allow the steaks to rest. Trust me, the difference it makes when a steak is properly rested is huge. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to pan-sear a steak. This time, I'm going to be using skirt steak. I love skirt steak because it's so flavorful and so tender. You really don't even need a marinade for this steak. So the preparation for the pan-seared steak is going to be pretty much identical to the grilled steak. Pat the steak dry, bring it up to room temperature, and season it with a little bit of salt. What you want to do is heat up a saute pan. And you want to get it hot enough to where it's just about to begin smoking. At this point, add a little bit of oil to the pan and place your steak in. Cook the steak on the first side for about 2 minutes. Then flip the steak over and cook for about 1 minute or so. After that first minute, lower the heat a little bit and add in some rosemary, thyme, garlic, and butter. The butter is going to start to cook the herbs and garlic and release their aromas. Then what you want to do is tilt the pan and with a spoon, begin to baste your steak. This is going to keep the steak nice and moist and give it the aroma of garlic, thyme, and rosemary. After basting for about 1 minute or so, take the steak off the heat and let it rest. Now you'll notice you have some burnt bits at the bottom of your pan. The worst thing you could possibly do at this point is put it in the sink and try to scrub it off. There's so much to talk about when it comes to making sauces. We're going to make a separate video going over all of that in the future. But for now, just add some water to the pan and scrape off those burnt bits. Now, like I said, resting steak is so crucial. For the sake of this video and for visual demonstrative purposes, I decided not to rest this steak. When I cut into this steak, you'll see that the juices flow out of the steak instead of being retained in the steak. Here's again me cutting the steak that's been rested. You can see how the rested steak retains those juices while the steak that hasn't been rested releases all of those juices. Resting your steak is one of the most important parts about cooking a steak. Alright, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel because we're releasing new content every single week.